Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Gurpreet Kaur Mann. I am a career coach as well as a LinkedIn expert. So thank you for tuning into my live today. Well, let's see if I'm even live. First thing I always do is ask you, my audience who's tuned in, to take a moment to introduce yourself. Yes, we are live. Today, I am going to talk about how to answer common interview question. Tell me about yourself. So if you are going on interviews, let me know in the comment section. Again, let's take a moment to introduce yourself. So let's see who's tuned in. Good morning, ma'am. How are you today? Thank you, Tarinder. Thank you for tuning in. And we've had multiple conversations and you've also hopped onto my free Zoom coaching. So thank you. I'm doing great. How are you? Hi, Agam. I know you, long time no chat. I hope everything is well. Nice for you to join. So take a moment, guys, to introduce yourself. So let me introduce myself if you don't already know me. Some of you that follow me on LinkedIn or other social media platforms. But if you don't already know me, my name is Gurpreet Kaur Mann. I am a career coach and a job search coach. I'm an expert in helping career professionals just like you to increase your salaries by 50K to 100K. I'm an expert in building six-figure careers. I've helped many career professionals just like you go from rejected to signing multiple job offers, six figures. My clients that have worked with me personally have seen a huge increase in their salaries all within 60 days. Yes, this may seem like far-fetched or hey, this sounds too good to be true, but it's not. The key here is they worked with me. So they personally worked with me. I've had people that were struggling for years, not land interviews, but working with me, they did. But here's the truth. They did the work, right? They put in the hard work. So that's an intro about me. I would love to get to know who you are. You are tuned in, then don't be shy. Drop a comment, introduce yourself, tell me who you are, what brings you on today, and what would you love to learn. Today is about interviews. I have a deck ready to share with you. I'm going to show you how to answer the most common interview question that you will always get asked is tell me about yourself. So fully fitting into what I'm saying, tell me about who you are. So introduce yourself in the comment section. Hello, Amina here. Hi, Amina. Where are you tuning in from? Hi, how are you today? I'm doing great, Vijayant Mon. Yo, you have the same last name as me. Hi, Dylan. How are you? Really liked your last post. Thank you, Tharinder. Which one are you referring to? So I can picture exactly which post you are referring to. This is Harpreet. Hi, Harpreet. Here is just came. Oh, Harpreet here. Just came back to Canada and just received the LinkedIn notification for the live. Okay, welcome back to Canada. Did you leave Canada and then came back, Harpreet? Let me know in the comment section. Hi, Zahir. Can you invite me? Zahir, where am I? Can you invite me? Can you invite me in live? Okay. I would love to know why you want to be a part of my life. That'd be great. Thank you for great support to us. Ramanjan, you are welcome. Farwa, hi, how are you? I'm great. Thank you for asking. So let's get this party started. Now, how many of you are going on interviews? Please tell me in the comment section if you are currently job searching and going on interviews. I would love to know that. Let me know in the comment section. Hi, I'm Rachel here for the first time listening to you. I'm trying to get a job. I'm finishing business school this month. Rachel, welcome. If this is your first time, thank you so much. You're going to learn so much today, especially about how to answer interview questions. So, welcome. Let me know where you are tuning in from, Rachel. The Bullying Post, we are with you. Thank you for the great efforts. Thank you. Okay, now I know which post you're talking about where I got bullied. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm looking for a job. Job searching on Microsoft Dynamics CRM developer. I am, but no calls. Dylan, welcome. I think you've tuned into quite a few of my LinkedIn lives, so I'm sorry to hear that you're not landing any interviews. Yes, I'm job searching. I'm in Canada. Okay. So you are job searching, which is great efforts. I know it can be very frustrating. It can be overwhelming. It can be very stressful to job search. I've been there myself many times. And as times changed, as years went by, one time it was used to be so easy to, have a resume and just submit and you would land interviews like this. And that was like when I graduated. Actually, when I graduated, it took me a long time to land a job. Unlike my sister who landed a job right away, it took me a while. And then when I did land a job, I was amazing at what I did. So then the second time I landed a job really fast. And then, recession came. So there's always things happening in the job market that can create turmoil for us and it can create frustration. But the key is to know exactly what to do in a given market, right? So right now, what's happening in the market is an employer's market. So today I'm going to talk about interviews because from 17 years of HR and hiring experience that I have, one of the things I always see candidates doing in the interviews that are really hindering their results of landing that job offer or converting that interview into a conversation to then converting into job offers to landing the next interview. Now, how many of you guys, those that are tuning into this live, if you're listening to me live right now, let me know, where have you gone on interviews and how do you feel about your interviews? Do you think you're doing an amazing job or are you struggling in those interviews? A second thought that Tarinder just said, always been so very helpful and generous with your time and efforts. Thank you, The Roof. I appreciate that. So let me know in the comment section, when you go on interview, how many people have gone in an interview and this one question has been asked to you? Tell me about yourself. Let me know in the comment section because today I'm going to teach you how to actually answer this question. But I would love for you to tell me if you've ever gone on an interview and this question was asked. Tell me about yourself because it's such a common question. It's one of the most asked interview questions. Tell me about yourself. Tell me it. Now I want you to tell me if you've actually went to an interview and was asked this question. Okay, so tell me in the comment section. I'm gonna tell you something funny while I'm waiting for you guys for the comments to roll in. I have a funny story around this question. I learned the hard way on how to answer this question. I'm laughing because I can picture the scene which took place back in 2009 or 2008 or 9, I believe. And I remember going to an interview and this question was asked and I didn't answer it. I thought I did, but I didn't. What I ended up doing was talking about me in here's what I did. And then I started to ramble about myself personally. And I think at that time I just got married. So I was talking about I just got married. And here's what I like to do. Not that that was wrong way to answer the question, like because it is a open-ended question, like tell me about yourself, so it can be confusing. And I know I was just talking about myself, me as a human being, my personal self. And I remember one of my friends saying, that's not how you should have answered that question. And I was like, why? Like, person asked, tell me about yourself. So I was telling them about me as a person. Here's what I like to do. I love to dance. I just got married and I'm adjusting to a married life, right? So, and did I get the next call for the second round of interviews? No, I didn't. So this question is really tricky in terms of we can easily answer this question by talking by ourselves. I know there's a lot of advice on this on the internet about how to answer this question, about walk them through your resumes. And as experienced HR professional, as an expert in HR who's done hiring for 17 plus years, I can tell you number one common advice that's given to you as job seekers on how to answer this question is actually wrong, like the resume walkthrough. And I'm going to tell you why it's wrong in a second. I did post about this earlier today, and I'm going to share my deck as well. Every interview, its first question, yes, it is the number one question asked in the interviews, and it's also the first question asked. Does anybody know why this is the first question asked? I've been asked that almost in every one I have attended. Yes. In every interview, I was asked this question. Yes. Yes. See, why are looking for changing? Yeah, that is another question that gets asked too. It's about skills, abilities, and knowledge, experience. HR asked me to do you have any questions? Yeah, but okay. So the number one question asked in every interview is, tell me about yourself. Does anybody know why this question is asked? So I'm going to tell you why this question is asked. The reason this question is asked is to actually start a conversation. So when I'm coaching people on how to convert their interviews into job offers, the number one step is shifting your mindset on what is an interview. So I use the analogy of interviews are like going on a first date. Interviews, you are going on a first date. It's you and you're meeting with somebody you don't know. So if we just remove that, oh my God, it's an interview, job interview, I know thinking of it as a job interview can create some anxiety and stress for all of us, right? We get nervous. We don't know. We always want to know how to answer into questions. We want to make sure that we are answering it right way. A lot of times people think there's a magic formula to answering the question, or they want to answer it trying to guess this is the answer that they want to hear, right? The reason this is the first question to ask is because it's the way to start a conversation. But now how you answer this question will really determine if you're going to have a conversation with the interviewer. So the question isn't about, it is actually about you, and it's about you telling them about yourself. So typical mistake everyone is making in answering this question is resume walkthrough. So everybody that in the comment section that told me that they've always got this question asked, I would love to hear how you answer this question. Do you start with doing a resume walkthrough? Let me know in the comment section if this is how you're answering this question, the resume walkthrough, because this is the number one advice on the internet. I've seen it every day on LinkedIn. I've seen it so many times, even from other career coaches giving advice on how to answer this question, is resume walkthrough, showing them that you are a fit into the company culture, the fit, right? So this is always the advice being given is go through your resume, talk about your resume. So tell me in the comment section, is that how you're answering this question? And if this is how you're answering the question, so Drew is saying yes, linking my qualification experiences to the job description. Yeah, so this is where typically everyone is going wrong in answering this question. So today I'm going to teach you my 5 steps, my framework on how to answer this popular number one interview question that you are always going to get asked in this in every single interview. Even it doesn't matter how many rounds of interviews you're going on. One of my clients went on 6 rounds of interviews, and every 6th round of interviews, this question was asked. Brief summary of professional experiences. Yes, that's typically how people are answering these questions, is just giving a summary. Yes, I liked my past. I link my past experience to it. So this is the mistake you're making in answering this question, is everyone is linking their qualifications or their experience to the position, or they are giving a summary of their experience or linking it to the past experience. But here's the thing. I already have your resume. I already know what your experience looks like. I already know your skills and qualifications. I already have your profile summary, your professional experience summary, because you gave it to me on your resume. So here's why what you're doing is not working, is because when me as an interviewer, so I'm the person that's interviewing you, right? I've read your resume. I know what your experience looks like. I know your skills. When you start to answer this question, from basically giving me a summary of your resume, this becomes boring. You're not you're not grabbing my attention and then retaining it. And also you're not creating that excitement. There has to be an excitement and a thrill into answering this question. And the way you answer it, there has to be that excitement and a thrill, where it's like watching a movie, right? When we start to watch a movie, for example, the movie trailers, right? They hook us with the cliffhangers and the suspense of, oh my God, we gotta watch this movie, right? And then what happens when we start to watch the movie, and then we either like it or we don't, right? So there's got to be that excitement. So I'm going to walk you through. Let me pull up my presentation. I'm going to teach you today how to answer this question properly. That's going to really make a huge difference. So how to answer the most common interview question, tell me about yourself. Let me know if you're ready to hear these 5 steps, okay? Please get a pen and paper. I'm going to give everybody a minute to pull up notes. However you take notes, grab a pen and paper or open notes on your computer, and please start taking notes, because this is really going to be a game changer on how you are going to answer this interview questions and how you answer any interview questions, okay? So who's ready to learn how to answer this interview question? Let me in the comment section. So we're gonna get started. Who's ready? I want to know who's ready, because before I start, who is ready to learn? Tell me in the comment section if you are ready and excited to learn how to answer the number 1 asked question in every single interview. Tell me about yourself. Let's get this party started. Okay. So get your pen and paper ready, because I am going to walk you through how to answer this question. Also, I will drop a link to where you can grab a copy of this deck. So I hear people saying, me, I'm ready. So let's get going. I will drop, if you guys go to all you have to do is go to my LinkedIn profile after this live. And I just posted this today, so you can grab the deck. And I'll drop the link, so so it'll be easy for you guys to grab it. But please take notes, okay? So 5 things you must do to answer this question. Number 1, story. Number 2, impact. Number 3, trends. Number 4, podcast. Number 5, ask. I'm going to walk you through each of them. Okay, so number 1 is story. The way you want to answer this question, tell me about yourself, is to actually tell your career story. Every single person has a story of how they got into their career, how they started their career journey, what keeps you going in your career, right? So you want to talk about how you got into your career. Do you have a unique story around this? For example, I'm going to give you examples. I know when someone saw my resume, the first one of the questions that was popping in their mind was, wait, she has an IT degree? What made her go into HR? But like going from IT to HR is a whole drastic shift, right? So I knew when someone saw my resume, they are wondering that. So that's what I started to lead with. I led with telling them my story of how I got into HR. And I always started the answer with, I bet you when you're wondering, when you were going through my resume and you came across that I have an IT degree, you're probably wondering, wait a minute, why didn't she go into IT and why did she pick HR as her career? And by just saying that, the interviewer was smiling and was like, yeah, like I did. I write your resume. And I was like, yeah, she has a IT degree. What the hell is she doing in HR, right? So anticipating the question someone's thinking as they're reading their resume. And so what I started to lead was that. And then they smile, they nod, and like, yeah, I am wondering why you got into HR and didn't pursue IT as a career. So I started to talk on that, on how I got a degree in IT, but how I landed in HR, right? So I told my story on how I got into HR and my passion for the work I do, why I'm doing the work, why I'm so passionate about HR, right? So your story on your career, how it started, how you got into it. That is the first thing we want to do is talk on our stories. Number two thing to add to our story now is we talked about how we started. Now we want to talk about the impact we want to make in our career. So, talk about the impact you are seeking to make through your work in your career and your field. So, another example of how I used to put this together was I used to share how when I started my HR job, I quickly learned in my first job was I was spending 5 days, 8 plus hours a day at work. I barely saw my family during the week. Couple of hours, right? Before I went to work and when I came home in the evenings for a few hours. Weekend was when I fully saw them because I wasn't working. So I quickly learned that I was spending so much time at work. How about if we actually built the work environment as a home? Because if I'm spending so much time at work, it's my second home now, right? I have one home and my second home is work. The people I'm working with is pretty much the people I am living with at work, living with at work. So quickly um, it became my mission to start building work environments that felt safe, that were where employees felt safe, employees felt comfortable, building that home environment because home is safe. Home is our safety nets. We feel completely ourselves at our home. What if we built that into the work environment? How would employees flourish? So that was the impact. That was my mission. That quickly became my mission. So everyone has a mission. You are not just doing a job. There's a reason why you do what you do. So now talk on that. Number three thing to now add to this question is when you're answering this question is talk about the latest trends in the industry. So trends, talk about how you stay up to date on the latest things that are happening in your industry, the trends, what's happening. Every day there's something shifting in our industries. Every month, well, let's take the whole last 2, 3 years. COVID happened, it changed everyone's lives upside down. Overnight, things shifted. Look how much drastically overnight everything shifted, right? So knowing the trends, knowing how to navigate those trends is the key as well. So talking about how you stay up to date in the trends, and then also talking about how you navigate them into the day-to-day work you do. Number 4, this is my favorite thing to talk about, is podcast. Now, this is something new, but before podcast, I used to talk about the different webinars that I've attended. So now it's replaced by podcasts. But back in the days, I used to go on trainings and conferences, and what were my go-to webinars or my favorite conferences to attend. Now you can talk about podcasts. So your go-to podcasts. Now, podcast is a huge thing. The last few years has become a huge thing. So you want to talk about this. And if you're not listening to podcasts in your industry or your field, please start listening to them. So talk about your top 5 go-to podcasts in your field or industry that you listen to all the time. Talk about the top 5 podcasts. Okay. Number 5 is ask the interviewer. Now, this is your opportunity now to ask the interviewer what's their favorite podcast. Anybody know why to do that? Here's how we quickly now, by the last thing we ask, our ask is the last thing we do, but that now has opened the door to having a conversation with the interviewer. By asking them about what's their favorite podcast, you've just allowed the conversation to happen now. You've invited them into your conversation. So quickly now, you set the stage of how the rest of the interview is going to go. It's all about conversation. The interview is going to tell you, oh, yeah, my favorite podcast is X, right? Or I don't listen to podcasts, but my favorite YouTube channel is X. You can replace the podcast with your favorite YouTube channel, your favorite influencer in your industry, your go-to conferences that you like to go to. So you can swipe that out, but then oppose asking them about their favorite podcast or the favorite conference that they like to go to, or YouTube channel. Just opens the door to the invitation of having a conversation versus having a grilling interview. So see how we just flipped the switch now? Because interviews are all about having conversations. Interview is going on a first date, right? Tell me if this is helping you guys, because this is how you answer this question. Actually, it's how you answer a lot of the interview questions, is by having having a conversation. Now, this entire framework that I just showed you is going to make you excited because you're talking about something you're passionate about, which is your career. And when you're passionate about talking about your passions, your whole body language demeanor changes. You are glowing, you are excited, you're happy, you're smiling. Instead of sounding like a robot, like with one tone. Okay, so thank you for reading. You can grab this slide deck. I will drop it in the comment section where you can grab it from. I just posted this morning. So does this help you? I would love to hear some feedback from you guys. Did my 5 steps, my framework on how to answer this tell me about yourself question helped you? Great question. If there is more than one interviewer, how do we ask them a question like this as in a group, or look at someone and ask? You can ask them in a group. I don't like doing group interviews, but yeah, like if a group is asking you, you can say, hey, what's your favorite? It's an open-ended question. It doesn't have to be to one person. You can ask everyone that question in the interview, and you just open the door to having a conversation. And that's what we want to do in those interviews. We want to have those conversations. We don't want a grilling interview. This advice is fire. Thank you, Gurpreet. You are welcome. I love it. Thank you. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. This is my favorite question. This is my favorite comment right now. This advice is on fire. I just want to like love this. Okay, thank you so much. Now I'm gonna take Q&A. So I'm gonna open the door for questions. Type your questions in the comment section, but I would love to hear how today's presentation and my 5 steps of framework of just answering this one question, how it's gonna help, is it helped you to answer this? You can grab the deck, by the way, from my post today. So this is actually the exact framework I teach in my coaching program. In my coaching program called Go to Talent, that has helped people increase their salaries by 50 to 100K in 60 days. Guys, I'll be very honest. It is how we show up to these interviews. It is how we answer these questions. If we're all just answering the interview questions the same way because we're getting the advice from online that walk them through your resume, we all sound the same. I can tell you from 17 years of interviewing, every candidate answered this question, tell me about yourself, the same way. Summary of the resumes, right? So if you truly want to land high paying salary jobs, you want to increase your salary, this is how you answer the interview questions. So this is just one framework of answering this question. I have frameworks for how to answer all the popular, most common interview questions. I teach this in my coaching program as well. Love the 5 tips. Thank you so much. That's a great perspective to look at job interview questions. You are welcome, Caroline. Thanks, Gurpreet. You are welcome. I'm glad that this has helped you guys to how to actually shift your perspective on answering this question. But not just this question, please shift your perspective on how to answer interview questions. There's no right or wrong, right? For example, I know people go into this mindset and that's why we turn to Google. By the way, Google is the worst way. The internet, getting advice from people on how to answer interview questions, don't get me wrong, is right. But when people are telling you how to answer the question and give you a framework and an example of, this is how you should answer it. And a lot of it is all generic advice. Like, for example, this exact question, I've seen people on the internet telling people how to answer this question is walk them through your resume. Tell them about your qualifications, tell them about your skills, tell them about your walk them through, basically giving a summary. But the thing is, I already have that, right? And that's not exciting. That's not fun. Let's have fun in the interviews. Let's have fun with those questions. It's like going on a date. First time we go on a date, it's exciting as well as nerve-wracking, right? So turn those questions into conversations, invite them to have a conversation with you, and that will flip the switch in a huge way, because you have that person's undivided attention when you're with them, and what the goal should be to build a relationship with them. Even if you don't land a job for whatever reason, because you were able to build that connection in that interview and you started to have conversation, that person's always going to remember you than any other candidate. And you are also standing out for the crowd by answering it this way versus answering it how everyone's answering is by just walk through of their resumes. Okay? So let's open the floor. I'm opening the floor and inviting you for any questions you have. Feel free to drop and ask any questions you have. I do believe someone had a question. HR asked me, do you have any questions? Okay, so, someone said, why are you looking for a change your current job? Okay, so this is also another popular question that will get asked of you if you are currently working and you are switching jobs. Here's my advice on how to answer this question, first of all, get real, really sit there and ask yourself, why are you looking for a switch? Now, if it's because you have a toxic work environment, yeah, we can't say, "Oh, I'm looking because toxic work environment." So remove that element, but place it with you're looking to step up. You're looking for the next level role. Really get real with why you're looking. Is your current job just not aligned with where you are now? Is it becoming boring? Is it redundant? Are you getting bored? Right? So first thing always to do is always ask yourself these questions. So interview prep is really, really crucial. And interview prep is also knowing that you are going to get asked these questions and you want to have an answer, but you also want to have a truthful answer. You don't want to just Google and then copy paste what someone is saying, how to answer this question. This is how you answer these questions. This is where a lot of people are starting like robots and boring in interviews because you're not answering it the way you would normally answer it, right? Like see it like having a conversation with a friend. HR asked me, do you have any questions? Yes, you will always be asked in the interview, do you have questions? Please have interview questions. Now, the key here is asking the right question. I know many people will Google and just ask the basic questions of, well, where would this role be in 5 years? Or, just some basic questions. And I teach a whole formula on what to ask, why to ask these questions, because the questions you ask, when they say, do you have questions? It should really be about you. What answers do you need from them in order to decide if this is the right role for you, right? A lot of people make this one common mistake when this question is asked is, I don't have any questions, you answered all my questions. But the key is to really sit down and ask yourself, what answers do you need in order to decide if this role is the right fit for you, if this company is the right fit for you? When you are asking questions in an interview, it's actually showcasing how you make decisions. So you want to answer these questions by actually asking every question you need to ask in order to help you make a decision. I remember somebody who asked 10 to 15 questions and they got hired because this question is about you. It's you showcasing firsthand how you make decisions.
I found this on the web.
How do you answer when salary expectation question appears in the interview? Straightforward. What is your salary expectation? I know this question will always get asked in interviews because they want to know what your salary expectation is. Now, here's what typically happens. I've seen this in 17 plus years of my HR career when I'm doing interviews. People fumble, people get scared, people have the fear of rejection. So if I really tell them what I really want, oh my God, I'm going to get rejected. Oh my God, it might not be in their budget. So what ends up happening is people backpedal and then they either say, well, what's your budget? I'm sure you're going to pay me the right market rate, so I'm good with that. Or, just say, okay, let's say they want 100K, say 70K or 80K. Like, again, lowering what they really want just out of the fear of rejection. So the first step I teach in my coaching program, this is actually the first thing we tackle in my coaching program is really putting a dollar value on you. And the first thing to do, in order to do that, you really need to know what you are bringing to the table, how the company is going to benefit from you, how are they going to make money from you, how are they going to profit from you, what's the ROI they're going to get. We can't go and ask for salaries based on market rate. And this is where a lot of people are getting underpaid. It's because a lot of people are just sticking to the go-to market rate and just copying that and saying that's my rate. And that's actually the number one way to get underpaid is asking for the market rate. The market rate is a benchmark, it's just a general guide, but that's actually not your true salary worth. So I hope that answers your question, Caroline. Okay, so any other questions before we conclude today's LinkedIn Live, my live session? If you are, before I conclude today's session, as I wait, if any other questions, please drop them in. But I will say one thing as I'm closing off is I do run a coaching program, which is called Go to Talent. I've been successfully running this for 5 years. My baby. It's what has truly helped so many career professionals just like you to not only end their struggles, but also overcome the fear of rejection and really become so confident in what they do and the value they're bringing, and actually increased their salaries 50 to 100K in 60 days. Imagine going, whatever you're making right now, imagine making 50K more. Imagine making 100K more. Now it depends on, I'm not saying everybody can make 50K more. Like, yeah, you can. My clients who've been working with me have. And it's because we really need to start understanding who we are, and the mindset needs to change. We can't lead by fear. We can't just always be, can't really always come from fear and rejections, because companies, there is a company out there that will pay your worth. But if we're always giving our energy to companies who are not going to pay us what we want, we're not making room for the company who is going to pay us our worth to come in. Okay, so I hope this helped. Paran Deol, can you please briefly tell again? I joined late. I'm not sure what you're asking for, but please feel free to watch the replay of the video. Today I was talking about how to answer the common interview question, tell me about yourself. Yes, that was helpful, Caroline. You're welcome. So if you are interested in working with me, you want to join my coaching program, send me a DM, send me a message, and I will reply back. I always reply back, and we'll hop on a Zoom call. I always like to understand where you are, what are the challenges you're facing, what do you really want, and see how I can help you. If I can't help you, I will be honest with you. But let's hop on that call. So if you are truly interested in working with me, send me a DM. We will schedule a call and we'll take it from there. So thank you so much. I really hope that this presentation, today's session, has really helped you. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, no, where can I find this video? So what you want to do is, as I end this video, just stay on this page or go to, if you want to find my video for today's video, simply go to my my LinkedIn profile and you will see it. If you want to see any of my previous lives, they're all on YouTube and they're under the section called Live. So like, I know it's hard to get them through LinkedIn. I've done tons of lives. I've been going live since 2019, guys, or 2020. I have all my live videos are also on YouTube, GKM, and the channel is called GKM Coaching. So please go subscribe, hit that like button, show some love. Also, I have a favor to ask every single person that joined today. Tag your friends, tag anybody that can benefit from today's session that I just did on how to answer interview questions. Tag them so that everyone can get benefit from this, right? Because this is the most common question asked in the interview. Also, the deck I showed you guys previously, this was the deck. If you want to get a copy of this deck, again, visit my LinkedIn profile, go to my post section, and you will see this. This is the post I posted this morning, my time, 10 a.m. PST. So you can actually grab the entire 9 deck slides by going and visiting my LinkedIn profile. Okay, if you love this segment, please go to my LinkedIn profile and hit that bell button so that you never miss out on any notifications of any of my posts. I share tons of advice on job searching, interviews, how to land high paying salary jobs. I have a YouTube channel. Go subscribe. So thank you so much. I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.